Okay, morning everyone. Dr. Chris MD and welcome to another video. Siguro, ay, wait lang. May piyak ba? Okay ba? Okay ba yung mic ko? Okay, yan. Happy Sunday everyone. Siguro ngayon, next part ng video will be light lang, pero continuation ng mga previous videos ko. Past two topics na pinapag-discussan natin is more of about Mycoplasma or the walking pneumonia and HIV, which is the human immunodeficiency virus. So, rundown lang natin kung ano yung mga pag-usapan. So, right now, kasi si Mycoplasma, we have a increased number of cases dito sa China and also here in the Philippines. Now, I just read sa CDC in US. Meron din sila doon. Actually, it's already flagged sa kanila website ng CDC na meron ding mga cases na emerging sa United States with regards to Mycoplasma infection. Kasi ganap ako ng definitions and also other signs and symptoms. Tidbit or facts regarding the walking pneumonia. No? Okay, punta tayo sa share screen. Okay, yeah. For some facts na kailangan natin maintindihan is what are the symptoms, what are the things na kailangan natin malaman tungkol sa Mycoplasma, and ano ba ang usual age group na affected kapag ganitong infection. So for Mycoplasma infection, madalas kasi sila sa kanila ay yung mga middle age up to the working class, kasi madalas sila yung mga people na always together in areas of groups, socialization, kasi they are the typical people that work day in and day out. No? So, most common siya sa young adult. And basically, they are atypical pneumonia, meaning they do not present the similar features of or course of the same of the common causes of pneumonia. No? For pneumonia, kasi usually they are bacterial, and bacterial din naman ito, pero it's a special type of bacteria. Kagaya nga ng last time, nasabi natin na wala siyang cell wall. And yung cell wall na to, yung outer coating, kumbaga, ng isang candy, na yun yung kadalasan na titikman na matamis, na hard, na it protects the inner parts of the bacteria, no? Wala siya nun. Okay, pero meron siyang sterols. So, mga ganitong sitwasyon, hindi gagana ang hindi gagana ang cell wall inhibitors, which are your basics, penicillin-based antibiotics, at saka yung mga cephalosporins na typical na ginagamit natin. So, kung ano ba, pag sinabi natin penicillin-based, you have your amoxicillin, co-amoxiclav, ano pa ba? Yeah, penicillin. Okay, yung mga yan, hindi gagana. Cloxacillin na. Pero hindi naman ginagamit ang cloxacillin sa pneumonia. So, yung co-amoxiclav, sa cefuroxime naman, yan, yun yung cephalosporin. Yung cefuroxime, okay, hindi sila gagana sa atypical pneumonia. Okay, so, tatlong copy kanina. Okay, so punta tayo dito sa CDC with regards to ano bang news or tips from the CDC. So, yun, sabi nga nila, they're looking into recent reports of Mycoplasma pneumonia infection among children in the United States. These infections are usually mild pneumonia, lung infection that can occur. Parents should seek medical care right away if they think their child has pneumonia. Okay. So, Mycoplasma pneumonia, bacteria commonly cause mild infections of the respiratory tract. That's nothing new, sabi nga. In our setting, It's already part of the guidelines as a typical pneumonia. Okay, sometimes these bacteria can cause more serious lung infection that require care in the hospital. Good hygiene and washing. Don't touch too much your mouth. Proper cough etiquette is important. No, it's important to decrease the spread of Mycoplasma pneumoniae and other infections. So, what are the causes and how does it spread? Kagandahan ng CDC website is very informative. So, the Mycoplasma pneumonia are bacteria that can cause illness. Well, it's the same. So, how does it spread? Well, cough, cold, cough, and sneezing. It's the usual respiratory droplets. So, yung respiratory droplets, kapag naubo kasi ang patient, and it can travel through micro droplets. Okay? It can also, well, spread to the hands kapag dun mo naubuhan. That's why it's important for you to have a disposable tissue, okay, or you have a handkerchief with you. Yun yung pang-cover mo ng mouth para hindi siya magkaroon ng aerosolization. Parang nag-spray ka ng mist of bacteria. Pag naglagay ka doon, at least doon lang sa bunganga mo. Ay, dyan sa bunganga. Sa kamay mo. Yung aerosols or yung droplets, they would not spread too much and will not infect your katabi or yung mahal mo sa buhay. Okay? So, another, other people can get infected when they breathe in those droplets. Kasi siyempre, pag ubo-ubo ka dun sa may work area, kasi may kasama ka din sa kabilang table, and it's a closed area, pwede na malanghap yun. Kasi paikot-ikot lang ang respiratory droplets. You take note that yung respiratory droplets can still be in the air. Okay? Until bumaba yun. It would touch the ground or any surface. Ayun yung surface na yun. Pwede na rin yung maging source of infection. Kung, let's say, nahawakan ng coworker mo, yung laptop mo, nahawakan ng coworker mo yung, let's say, inubuan mo yung kamay mo, tapos nahawakan mo yung phone, then accidentally nahawakan din ng misis mo yung phone mo, o habang pagalitan ka na may bakang ka text ka na, yun, well, yan, pwede yung source of infection or spread, no? So, suppose people spend a short amount of time with someone who is sick with Mycoplasma pneumonia, do not get infected. So, hindi siya mabilisan na cause ng pangahawa. So, meaning, you should have chronic exposure. If, let's say, the patient you have is chronically infected with Mycoplasma, pwede. There's a high possibility. So, it's not just like, nagkape lang kayo, tapos nalangkap mo na. Okay? Baka kapag, let's say, for example, you've been with a coworker that is been coughing the entire day, okay, in front of you, yun, pwede yun. Kasi your droplet exposure has been, let's say, an entire day is 8 hours na work. Tapos, ubo siya ng ubo nung buong araw na yun. Hindi man lang siya takip ng bunganga. Okay, that is a serious problem. Kasi, yun nga, exposure is somewhat one of the health risk, no? So, common outbreak setting, so, yeah. It occurs mostly on crowded settings. So, kung crowded settings, sabi ko nga, any work area that is closed, na nakasara mga bintana, okay, usually use of air-conditioned units, yeah. Or, let's say, sa MRT, yeah, di ba, closed area yun. Though, yung exposure mo sa loob yun, malay mo is, you're in the MRT from terminal to terminal. That would take you around 15 minutes, 20 minutes na nandun ka sa loob. And punuhan lagi. And then, yung umubo sa loob. Similar din also to COVID yun. That can also cause, prolonged exposure. No? Yeah. So, aside from that, in this example dito, sabi na schools. Kasi the school is enclosed unless school is well ventilated, no? Yung madalas sa schools ngayon naka-air condition. Pero sa school siguro sa probinsya, syempre yun nakabukas bintana. Pero kung ubo ng ubo sa loob, katabi mo, ganun. That's a huge concern. the college residence halls, like yung mga dorms, okay, mga may dorm mate na inuubo, okay, military training facilities, yan, kubol kasi yan. Merong mga bunkers, no? Tapos may mga double deck beds. Usually they sleep there, mga 4 to 5 individuals or more inside of their training facilities, and then long-term care facilities, and then even hospitals. So during school-based outbreaks, family members of ill children are most likely community members to be affected. So yun nga, it could affect also the family. Let's say if the child gets infected from school, no? Kasi same, they would have their own infection. Okay. So, what are the symptoms kapag ganyan? So, dito na yung last part of the video. For the symptoms, ito. Infection of Mycoplasma. What are the symptoms? Tracheobronchitis. Tracheo is the trachea. Bronchitis is the large airways of your lungs, no? They're usually your left and right bronchi. So, itis means inflammation. So, there is an inflammation of the trachea, tracheobronchial tree. Okay, so it would cause immense coughing. Okay, it would also cause inflammation. So, it might make secretions. Okay, and even difficulty of breathing. No, so aside from that, the trachea is also in this area. So, take note that if it's in that area, it's also part of aligned with the opening from the throat. So we have sore throat, feeling tired every day kasi since maga yung daloy ng hangin, usually mas gusto mo it's not too much exposed to too much exposure to the air, and baka madampen yung normal respiratory cycle mo, and feeling pagod kasi parang matamlay ng pakiramdam. So since may inflammation, may fever, it might cause fever, no? Kasi mataas ang inflammatory markers, meaning sa katawan mo lalaban siya with regards to the inflammation, and the body might release yung inflammatory markers to as a primary response to combat inflammation and even infection, then worsening of cough. And since ganyan, yun nga, it affects one of the vital things in in humans as well as animals. Sa atin, vital kasi ang breathing. Kapag mayroong compromised airways, hindi siya secure, di ba? It might cause myalgia kasi kulang oxygen delivery, and then may even cause headache. Okay, aside from tracheobronchitis, pneumonia. It's siyempre, this is more on the infection of the lung parenchyma or yung mismong lung. Okay, for that, mas presentation nito ay yung fever and cough and secretions. Okay, and even shortness of breath. So, usually kapag typical din naman na infection of the lungs or yung pneumonia, yun. The secretions would be found more in the alveoli kasi nagkakaroon ng pamamaga, and then it would usually decrease the capabilities of the lung to provide gas exchange. So kapag inflamed yan, take note, sabi ko nga kanina, inflammatory markers that would try to combat the infection. Okay, pero pwede kasing constant siya. So kapag gano'n yung nangyayari, more patient may present with fever and coughing. And usually kapag compromise yung access natin for oxygen, it might cause shortness of breath. Okay? So symptoms in young children, so it might also affect the upper airways kasi it's connected naman yung lower respiratory tract to the upper. It might affect the upper airway, so your nasal or pharynx. So it may also cause sneezing, stuffy nose, sore throat, watery eyes. Okay? Now, kapag ganitong sitwasyon, kasi kung may plema, nakakalunok din siya ng plema, lalo na sa mga bata. Others may present with vomiting of the phlegm. So usually, hindi sila makapag-expectorate or makapaglabas ng plema. Ang gagawin ng bata is isusuka niya yung nalunok niyang plema most of the time. Or try siya mag-vomit. And usually kapag ganon, it's a post-tussive vomitus or post-tussive vomiting. Yun yung usual signs for children with pneumonia. No, kung di siya makapag-expectorate or makalabas ng plema. Now, when to seek consult? Kapag ganito ang presentasyon, naglalagnat, inuubo, well, that's high time for you to seek consult. Sa mga parents dyan, kung ganito yung mga anak nyo, seek consult agad. Now, do we advise to self-medicate? No. Kasi, una sa lahat, these symptoms, take note, these symptoms, they are symptoms that are similar with other pathogens. O hindi lang kasi Mycoplasma yan. Well, pwedeng kasi sa typical pneumonia pa rin. Pwedeng, Pwede pa rin namang streptococcal pneumonia that can be managed using the antibiotics. But you cannot have access to antibiotics unless you have a prescription. Diba? Pwede pa rin namang COVID kasi hindi pa naman nawawala ang COVID sa ating environment. So, it might present, lalo na kung yung presentation niya may mga additional siyang symptoms. Take note, nandun pa rin tayo sa presentation ng symptoms. Pwedeng anosmia, nawalan ng panlasa. Okay? Ano pa ba yung mga additional na nakita natin for COVID? Medyo, yun yung additional na nadadagdag kapag ganitong patients ng COVID. Nawalan ng panlasa, tsaka nawawala ng pang-amoy. Okay? And then the rest, they have the same. Myalgia, feeling tired. And, syempre, recent exposure to COVID-infected patients. Kapag meron talagang known exposure. Okay? So, if you have symptoms of pneumonia, you cannot fully tell na walking pneumonia ba to, bacterial pneumonia, that is typical, or is it COVID? So, best thing to do, seek consult immediately. Okay, lalo na kung nahihirapan huminga. Okay? Sige. Treatment options, siyempre, that depends on the type of infection. The type of infection, again, kung sa treatment, I advise you seek consult. Kasi sa mga gamot kasi, huwag kayong mag-self-medicate, but it might cause resistance. Okay? Para lang din maging sure, always tell your doctors if you had history of antibiotic use for the past, siguro 2 months. Para lang din maging aware siya to prescribe you the appropriate antibiotics. Kasi, let's say, nagamit mo ng a particular antibiotic, like coamoxiclav for a infection on the skin or UTI, ganon. Cefuroxime for UTI, ganon. So, may previous infection ka na tinake, nagtake ka ng antibiotics, and we have to gauge kung ano ba yung next na pwede natin ibigay. Okay? Baka kasi meron ka na or nagsabay sila na nag-take ka ng gamot, tapos meron ka na ng mga sakit or simptomas. So, para mapantay natin at ma-avoid natin ang resistance. So, yan. Kaya pag napansin nyo dito, several types of antibiotics ang nilalagay, and we don't usually place it in the section na for the general public. Kasi baka mamaya meron yung time na bibili sila on their own without seeking consult, and that is hindi appropriate kasi it might increase the risk of resistance, and kung resistant yung strain, magkakaroon tayo ng problema dyan. Baka lahat na lang ng gamot na pwede sa'yo ay IV. So, hindi natin gusto yun. Okay, so before you do anything or treat anything, seek consult immediately. For the symptoms, well, may mga over-the-counter for fever and for cough. Pero, to help you better, seek consult, okay, from a doctor to prescribe you the appropriate antibiotics. Okay? Siguro hanggang doon lang yung video. Siguro another part na lang yun. I think that would be all. Prevention, nabanggit ko na yung ibang parts nung nakaraan. Ay, parang nag-on agad yung audio. Anyway. May audio ba yun? Ay, kaya naman pala. Sorry. Tanggalin ko na ngayon. Sorry, may lag. So, hanggang doon na lang muna ito. Siguro sa part na the next video about mycoplasma. Let's tackle prevention. Well, kung prevention of pneumonia. Kasi mahalaga na naman na makita nyo kung ano ba yung mga kailangan natin mga vaccines for pneumonia. Dalawa lang naman yung importante, PCV and PPSV. No? And usually, ang encourage natin sa mga adults yung PCV. I think PCV 20 ang nearest vaccine. Okay? Tapos, yan, hand hygiene. And sa elderly, meron pala isang vaccine, yung herpes vaccine, herpes zoster vaccine. So, for elderly yun. And siguro, yun, gando na lang muna. And hopefully, lahat ng mga listeners dyan, may nakuha, may nakalap. Pinaka-importante pa rin, si consult, okay? Iwasan mo ang self-medicate. And kung may sakit ka, maging diligent enough to, well, do the right thing. Kapag nauubo, takpan ng bunganga, use a disposable tissue paper, then dispose them properly. Wash your hands, okay? And then, if hindi talaga maganda pakiramdam, tell your boss, put out na magpa-check ka na, and para ma-avoid yung spread ng infection sa workplace. Ayaw naman natin ma-compromise ang buong team dahil lang sa nagkasakit. Okay? And usually kapag ganyang sitwasyon, it's important for us to act immediately. Baka kasi hindi kasi natin alam kung pneumonia to, o pneumonia, o COVID siya. Kasi halos magkakapareho ang presentation. Only a doctor can help you manage your condition. So, huwag magtanong sa kapitbahay, huwag magtanong sa nanay-tatay, unless kung yung nanay-tatay mo at kapitbahay mo ay doktor at willing sila mag-provide ng consult, okay lang. Okay? So, hanggang doon lang. This has been Doc Chris, Scabby MD. Have a good weekend.